to your chapter to go visit your chapter and hopefully grow that chapter a little bit more. So thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. There you go, folks. We had an amazing time today with all of our guests. I want to thank Mr. Dana Oliva, Ms. Marilyn Sanders, and Derek Tice for being on the show today. We look forward to next week's show. Until then, my name is Rick Gutierrez. This is BNI Now. Catch you next time.
Hey, good Wednesday afternoon. It's about noonish, so it's time to teach your business to fish. This is your business guide, Michael Rager here. I'm going to be so excited today. I got two good friends. I got Andy Erkson, who's been on here a lot, and Colleen Mingle. Colleen, oh my gosh, she's going to talk about businesses. I heard her like in the green room before talking about some of the companies, and we can't repeat anything that she said earlier. So it's going to be fun. But man, this is the first podcast of the year. We're ready to go out, and I want to talk about why. And it's interesting. We've had a couple of these discussions. I've had a couple, and they drove a little frustration here and drove a little frustration there. But in order to really be successful, and no matter what you're doing, you've got to understand why. A lot of us, when we're business coaching, we push out. We tell our clients to go watch that Simon Sinek. What was it? What did he do there? It was a TED Talk. He did a TED Talk on Start With Why. And how Apple found its why and what it needed to do. But it's really funny is I was on a call with one of my coaches last night, Marisha, and Marisha brought that up. She goes, what are the 5 whys? What's the 5 levels deep why? She didn't go deep, but I'm like, holy crap, I haven't done that with my clients in a long time. So I want to share it with you guys today in the podcast on what you need to do and why you need to do it. And it's very, very hard to do it by yourself. So you really need someone that like, and trust to really push you to answer this question and go deeper and deeper and deeper into why are you doing something? Because those that are really, really successful know their why. And those that don't have only really scratched the surface. And I tried to use today as I was talking to Elise, my admin. You guys, those you've connected with me on the Facebook group, you've chatted with her. But we talked about it today, and I wanted to give you the visual explanation of it. I heard this a few years ago, and I think this really describes why you've got to go at least 5 levels down, because you really won't get the answer to what's wrong, why it's wrong, why you're. So the example I was given was, right now they are fixing the Washington Monument. So if you've been in D.C. recently, they're doing construction on the Washington Monument, and the question is why? Well, the concrete's falling apart. Well, why? Well, because there's a lot of birds there, and the birds are pooping on it, and some of the chemicals in the bird poop is mixing with the concrete, and it's causing the concrete to fall apart. Why is there so many birds and so much bird poop? Well, let me go back up there. If we go to there and we just want to fix the Washington Monument because of bird poop, we're going to go trap a whole lot of birds. And that's not going to fix the situation, because we haven't fixed why this is happening. So we go to the next step and we go, okay, why is there so much bird poop there and why are so many birds? Well, the birds are there eating spiders. Now, spiders. How's spiders got anything to do with it? Well, the birds, they're eating spiders. So if we go look at the next solution, let's just go kill all the spiders. Well, that's not going to work either, because why are the spiders there? Well, the spiders are there because there's a whole bunch of flying insects. All right, well, let's go get rid of the birds and get rid of the spiders and get rid of the flying insects. Well, the next most prominent question is, why are the insects there? The insects are there because if you've been to DC and you've gone and see the monument, it's very well lit at night. And it's very well lit at night with incandescent lights. And incandescent lights attract flying insects. The flying insects attract the spiders. The spiders attract the birds. The birds poop on the monument. Hence, we need to fix the monument. So if we don't go 5 levels deep into why we're doing something, we're going to fix and not do the right thing. Because what we really need to do to solve this problem is change the type of lighting that doesn't attract the flying insects. And we start getting to LED lighting and stuff like this. So the new Washington Monument, the refurbished Washington Monument, is going to have different lighting it up at night. And we're going to get rid of the insects. We're going to get rid of the spiders. We're going to get rid of the poop. And we're going to get rid of the birds. And we're going to solve the problem. And in your business, if you're not doing that, why are we doing it? Thanks, Jonathan. He's giving me a standing ovation in the back. Oh my God. See, and he wanted to go with the little bucket mic so he could just give me crap through my ears. It's way better doing it this way. But these are the things we got to start going in. So with your business, why are you doing it? Why are you starting your business? What do you want to accomplish? What's happening in your life? You've got to dig down that deep. That somebody's going to give you a burning desire to go there. A lot of people say that, a lot of great athletes, they're really driven. They know their why. They know what they want. They've got something that drives us. And mediocre businesses don't know why. They don't know why they're in business. They don't know what they're trying to do. They don't know the change they're trying to affect in the world. And that's what we need to look at. So when I get talking to Colleen and Andy today, we're gonna go a little bit of wise. They're like looking at me like going, "Oh crap! I didn't sign up for this today." And where are we gonna go and get this? So these are the things we're gonna start looking at as we start driving into your business. Is why we're in 2021. Things are new. They're different than last year. Everything's gonna be different this year. Hopefully, COVID's gonna go away. It looks like we're gonna have a new administration. We're gonna, guess what? Maybe have more or less hurricanes here in Houston. It's warm out right now. It hasn't even got cold. There's a whole bunch of things that are different than last year. So your success is driven into you, and you need to get there and figure it out. So what you need to do is you got to get somebody that you really know, like, and trust to ask you why. And the answers can't be because. Because is bullshit. And that's what I'm going to say right there. And we're going to hear it. I was on a call yesterday morning, and there was a guy that was talking about being an entrepreneur. And everything he talked about his business was an excuse why he hasn't started doing things already. And I nicely called him out. I'm like, dude, man, you've got greatness in you. You've got some great things. But this morning, listening to you talk, you gave 10 excuses to why you're not going to be successful this year. How can you start off 2021 with 10 excuses of why you're not going to be successful? You might as well just pack it in, go sit under a box, and just go away. It's not going to have anything to do. So we want to go out there, and this is what this business is about. We're going to unleash some things. We're going to talk about today about building a business that becomes a sellable asset. Not because you want to sell it, because sellable assets are a great thing, and it actually makes your business worth something. It makes it worth something. I had a really good talk with Colleen on, I think it was Monday, and kind of the reason why I sneaked up on her yesterday and said, hey, come in and talk. I want to talk some more. But she introduced me to a friend of hers that's a business valuation expert. And Andy here, he does business valuations, but probably not at the same level. Right. That what's her name?
Sheila Darby.
Sheila Darby. She doesn't go to the same level that Sheila Darby does. Or I got a really good friend of mine, Alex Howard, he was the business valuation king of Houston for 20 years. I mean, that's what his company did. But if you don't know what your business is worth, how are you going to make it better? And these are the things that we're going to talk about today. So, Jonathan, have I rambled on enough? I have. We got the first section done, so we're going to move to there. I want to send Jonathan off to the first set of commercials. So, this is your business guide, Michael Rager. We'll be back with Teach Your Business Efficient. We're going to talk with Andy and Colleen, and we're going to have a good time.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hi, this is Alberto Tudela. The Houston metro area has experienced a substantial increase of wind and hail damage, flooding, and other perils in the last 5 years. Now more than ever, it is critical and essential to ensure your company, your property, as well as your family have the right insurance coverage. Tudela Insurance Solutions offers a wide variety of insurance for home, auto, property, as well as life insurance. My goal is to find a tailored option that guarantees the right coverage at the right price, specific to your needs, present and future, so you protect what matters the most. Call me today at 713-714-4475 and allow our team at Tudela Insurance Solutions to make sure you're protected. Accidents never happen when we expect them. Now is the time to ensure you have peace of mind.
Hey, we're back. It's the Business Guide. Michael Rager with Teach Your Business to Fish. I got Colleen and Andy with me. Andy's been God, man, Andy, it's like your third time.
Third time.
So
Repeat guest.
He's
wow.
a repeater. I love it because Andy and I really get into some really good business topics, and we talk fishing too. So that makes it fun, and it's all. And Colleen's just rolling her eyes. Crap.
I was like, if we're going into fishing, I don't know.
We'll go fish in that big giant hot tub you and your husband.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
We can release some trout in there.
Yeah.
But all right, man. We talked a little bit about why at the beginning. So I'm going to start with you, Colleen. Colleen, tell us a little bit about your business and exactly what value you add to your customers.
Yeah, so I'm an attorney. I'm a business attorney, and I help my clients buy or sell their business. And I'm doing it from the legal side, right? So I'm not doing it from the valuation side. I'm not helping them scale their business. I might be getting them connected with people that they need to talk to. And ultimately, right, what I'm doing is helping people. And that's my why, is I get to help people. And some people find that in the form of volunteering. I find it in the form of helping business owners. So,
Right.
yeah.
I won't grill you today. We'll do
You
that.
won't-
We'll do that with cocktails. So, Andy, what about you? Tell us about First Choice and what you're doing.
So First Choice Business Brokers, we are a franchise organization, and we help people buy and sell businesses. We don't really do valuations, right? I mean, we're not certified valuators, but what we do is we help people understand what their business could sell for in today's market.
Right.
And, when we talk about why, our why is to help people achieve their personal and business goals. That's it.
Yeah.
As simple as possible.
But you had some big news over the holidays, right?
We
What's
did.
happened with your company?
So Merry Christmas and New Year's to myself and my partner Bob Gappa. We did acquire another office here in Houston that was existing for 2 years. So we are now multi-unit operators with First Choice here.
So you went and spent a whole bunch of money.
Kind of. Looking for a short return on our
Short return on this. So let me put this out to you guys first. So when somebody comes, we talked about this in the break. We were talking about when we come out of the 10 things. What's the one question that people ask you that's wrong? What should they really be asking you, Colleen?
Oh, geez, you're really putting me on the spot.
I am. That's my job. It's my inner Larry King.
Your inner Larry King. And next time I see you, I'm going to call you Larry King.
No.
What do they ask me that's not the right question? Really, what they're asking me might be something along the lines of that they think that they're on the right path when they're not, right? And they think that they're protecting themselves from the legal perspective, but they're not, right? They might think, oh, I've got a DBA in place, so I'm good, I'm gold, right? I'm like, well, no, that's not an entity. You need to get an entity set up so you can protect yourself, right? So I get a couple of those every once in a while. Oh my gosh, what else? Usually it's something where they're thinking that they're protected and then they're not from the legal perspective, either trying to sidestep liability when acquiring or when they're setting up their business. So you'd be amazed at how many are not in compliance, right? And they realize they get something in the mail and they're like freaking out, and they call me and they say, oh, I got this thing from the comptroller, I got this letter from the IRS. It turns out they didn't really know what they're doing, and they don't realize that they're not knowing what they're doing until about a year or two into their business. So if they come into me early on, what I'm going to do is say, okay, you have 1 year. You have 1 year to figure this out. You got to get your bookkeeper, you got to get your CPA, you got to get your insurance agent, and your insurance broker, right? Get all of the key pieces in place. And sometimes I'm having that from a startup conversation, and other times I'm jumping in about 2-3 years in, telling them they gotta get this in place. So.
Yeah, and mine suck. I'm telling you, I'm horrible at it. There's gonna be a day I'm gonna call you. It's like, Colleen, you need to come represent me.
Yeah, but they call me thinking that they've got that they're doing it right, and then they find out that they're not doing it right, and I've got to go tell them, well, we need to make a couple of tweaks, and I say tweaks in a nice way, but sometimes there's some pretty big tweaks.
Yeah, I've been there. What about you, Andy? When somebody calls and they're gonna sell their business,
Right.
They call you up and they say, Andy, think, and they should really be saying Andy.
So here's when I get the entrepreneur that calls. My gross revenue was this in 2019. How much is my business worth? Usually, and what Colleen mentioned is, most of these entrepreneurs and these business owners didn't set everything up correctly, and they're using maybe what some of us might consider a criminal tax preparer or bookkeeper. And no, we won't call them that. Never. But you've lost money for the last 10 years. And how do you think we're going to try to figure out how much your business is worth? Yeah, you grossed $3.9 million. Well, and you lost $75,000 a year, we can't even get you a lease renewed.
Right.
And so I think one of the biggest issues that people think is that, my business is worth what my gross revenue was for the year, and it's nowhere near that.
No, that's where I come in, and it's like, you're going to get dinged for this, and this,
Well, how many people this year tried to go get PPP money or something money, and they couldn't because they had no revenue?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I had that issue. I couldn't get it. I was a single thing, but I was paying a whole bunch of debt on money, so I was paying a whole bunch of interest. And when it came up to show, we didn't make a lot of money last year. Right. And so when I went to try to say, hey, look, they said, well, you don't have any money, so you're not making any, so you can't do it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I teach is business finance and accounting for businesses is not to save money for taxes. You're nodding your head.
Yeah, I'm nodding my head, but yeah, I understand. I'm supposed to talk into the mic.
We can hear that.
Yeah, they mean a lot more than just eliminating or reducing your tax bill, right? There's planning that's involved.
Yeah, one of the questions I always ask is, do you have predictable financials? Do you, if you're going to sell the business, if you got predictable financials, that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Do you have profit?
Are you dependent on one particular employee?
Client, yeah.
Or
one contract.
Yeah, one of our like I was telling you the other day,
they're supposed to be an employee, but they're actually a contractor.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. But I tell you, we do a rough valuation through one of the softwares that we use, and one of the questions is did 15% or more of your business come from one client? Because that's not good, is it?
No.
No.
No, never. If your business is dependent on 2 or 3 large contracts, and if that makes up 40% of your business, and 60% of your business is a whole bunch of a lot of small clients, but if you lose those 4 contracts, then they're tied to the owner. There's really not a lot of value in that transition.
Okay, well, that's where the value of due diligence comes in. So if you are heavy in one client, do you have a contract that locks them in, right? While you continue to diversify the remaining aspects of your book.
Yeah, due diligence is good. We were buying a company a couple of years ago, and we went in, and part of what we were buying was intellectual property and existing revenue. And they gave us this number, and then we went to close and did final due diligence, and we found out like 75% of those contracts were gone, and they didn't tell us.
Right.
They
And
had renewed.
we slashed our offer by almost $400,000. And
at least, I'm sure.
And they got pissed. And we're like, really? You're mad about this? You lied. You didn't tell us that you lost all these contracts.
Right.
And that's where there's a provision where if you've gotten into an agreement, they're supposed to say there hasn't been a material adverse change or similar language since X date between that date and when you're closing. So in that instance, right, you're triggering a material adverse change clause.
Well, we were gonna go sue them, but they were out of Scotland, and my lawyer's like you're gonna pay me more money to sue them, and you're gonna lose it and never get it back because you're probably never gonna be able to collect.
Yep.
And so that's what we did. We just walked away from the deal, and it sucked because it was a big chunk of change that came out of my pocket.
Right.
All right, so we're going in the beginning of the year.
He's like, I don't want to talk
I
about
don't want to talk
myself.
about that crap anymore.
Already
My
upset
money.
in
Yeah,
2021.
I'm upset. I mean, I think it started to sound like Eeyore. All right, so we're coming into 2021. From a legal perspective, a company that's been around, they're looking to grow their business. What's something that they should be looking at and reviewing as we start into a new year?
Review your contracts, right? Those are the most important things. Those are your longest term aspects of your business. So your lease, if it's not long term, maybe you don't want it to be long term, but let's review it. If you want it to be short term, let's make it short term. If you want to get out of it, right? I've gotten a lot of clients out of leases in the last year,
Oh, yeah.
and that's not a typical thing for me to ever want to do, but it's
Right.
unfortunately part of it. But reviewing those contracts, I've had a number of people say, okay, in 2021, they realized that they need to restructure how they're receiving payments from customers, right? That they need to require that they get 50% of the fee up front, and then, as it's completed, it would then get paid by the client. And so for those who are just taking the risk all up front for a client that they're working on and then not getting paid, so the concept of retainers, right? For attorneys, we call it retainer, but for normal business people, it's requiring money up front and somewhere in the 30 to 50% range, and restructuring those contracts. And then some of them, really, they're working on a statement of work basis, but they don't have their contract structured in that way. So a lot of technology companies work on statement of work basis, but their contracts don't match what they're doing.
I was talking to a company right about early last year, and they were a pool installation company, and they didn't review their contract on how they're going to put the agreement together. And the guy that they're building the pool for was an executive in an oil and gas business. How do they get paid? Net 40, net 60.
Yeah.
This guy wanted to pay him this day to build this pool. And he's like, dude, I got to pay for the concrete today. And so we left a hole in the guy's backyard. We just walked away and said, we'll fix it when you pay us. We'll go to the next step. Right. And it took his wife about a week to say, fill the damn hole with either dirt or a swimming pool and get these people out of my backyard.
Wow.
But this guy wanted to change the contract in the middle of the deal. Yeah. How he paid. And it's not fair. So
there's other remedies where it's like home construction related, right? You got mechanics liens, you've got those also require certain disclosures and may require a husband and wife to both sign that contract to make it enforceable. So when it's something along the lines of construction, you've got other things at play and other ways to protect yourself. But for a general business that doesn't have a mechanics lien to rely on, or even a contract that will hold up with that lien, well, you're looking at true business risk of a client not paying.
Yeah, I've got this. I've got it. And I know, Andy, you do. You hire contractors to come work with you as you grow your business. And I do the same thing, too. When I'm looking for more coaches, they pay me a fee, and we build their bank. And the agreement is they're going to pay us 30 days after they quit. And they quit. And they never want to pay. And
never.
We've got the agreement because we won't let their website and stuff go live unless they agree to it. And then they stop, and then they just disappear. And am I going to go sue somebody over $1,000? No.
I would tell you not to.
You would. I had an attorney sue me. My attorney sued me. I'll just say
that was something you should admit.
It was the best. It was the best.
Oh, jeez.
We got to. Well,
you put the red flag on yourself right there.
It wasn't my fault. It was funny. We'll talk about it over cocktails one day. It was really, really funny. So Andy, we got 2 minutes, so we're gonna come back. Somebody comes to you. We're starting 2021. I want to sell my business in 3 years. What should I work on today?
Getting your contracts in order, because during the due diligence process, when you have potential buyers, most of the contracts that our clients have that are actually in the services business, it's really, there is nothing binding in there. It was, we're going to work together. There is no terms for payment. There is no terms for cancellation. And if somebody doesn't want to pay this and it goes to court, they're going to lose all that money. So
it's flimsy at best.
Flimsy at best. I've seen, napkins that hold up stronger than, some of these contracts. But it's the contracts. It's the bookkeeping. It's paying your taxes. It's not losing money. It's making sure that you're not the person that the business relies on.
Right.
There's a lot of aspects to the business getting ready to sell.
Oh yeah, I keep telling my clients, it's your business is not sellable until you can walk away from the business for 90 days and it still functions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not a business.
I'd agree with that. Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
a business. You created a job, you know, and nobody wants to buy your job. Do they?
Well, franchising has been good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's franchising in a nutshell, right?
All right. So, Colleen, how do people get a hold of you? So give us, because we're going to come back and do 2 more segments, but people want to find you now. How do they find Colleen?
Yeah, so kcq-lawfirm.com. My personal cell phone is 713-828-2783. And then if you don't get a hold of me that way, always email, and it's on our website. There's a V card. Someone can instantly just click and go, and I'm very responsive. I think everybody here can agree that I'm very responsive.
And Andy, how about yourself?
Give us a call, 713-400-7663. Ask for Andy, or email me at andy@fcbb.com.
FCBB. Yeah, so I got to get my TYB2F. I got that. I got it. I got it. All right, guys, this is Michael Rager. Teachyourbusinesstofish.com. Your business guide will be back. There you go, Jonathan. It's all up to you.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hi, I'm Sandra Mendez Hassan, Executive Business Advisor, Key Business Strategist, and Management Specialist with Extraordinary HCBI. I work with business owners and executives to help them achieve their goals, implementing the right strategy, and developing leaders that turn their dreams into reality. Do you have a business idea and need to know how to launch it? Based on your vision, do you have the criteria or entrepreneurial mindset to achieve your goals? Do you have what it takes to motivate your team so they can be more proactive and productive? Would you like to learn how to get more clients and close more businesses? At Extraordinary HCBI, we take businesses to the next level by providing them with resources, counseling, and implementing strategies that works, because we want your business to thrive. We also assist businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs on the initial steps of their business plan development, creating financial projections and guiding them on how to create a financial package that will work for their business. Because your success is our success, take a decisive step today and call me at 832-660-4291 and let Extraordinary HCBI turn your dreams into reality.
Do you want to experience the ease and convenience of the latest and most advanced home security system? Are you going away on vacation and want to have peace of mind while you're not at your home or at your office? According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds, and homes and businesses without a security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Hawk Security provides security solutions to residential and small businesses in the state of Texas and from California to Georgia, building a custom-tailored security setup that matches your needs. Whether it is home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood detection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, alarm monitoring, and life safety. In addition to fire and carbon monoxide detection, Hawk Security has a smart home and business integration, expanding security services to a lifestyle solution, keeping customers connected to their home and businesses from anywhere in the world, from their tablet or mobile device, so you can have peace of mind even if you're not at home or in your office. Reduce your energy cost, scheduling automatic changes in thermostats or lighting. And because we rely on our heroes every single day, Hawk Security offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Our mission is to keep our clients safe, treat them like family, and provide them with a user-friendly security system with personalized customer service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For integrity, honesty, passion, and excellent customer service, take a strong step today toward getting protected and call Rosanna Torres at 832-863-8574 because every home and business is unique and every security system should be unique too.
Hey, it's Business Guide, Michael Rager. We're back with Teach Your Business to Fish. Hey, why isn't my name at the bottom? Oh, there it is. Okay, I was like, what's going on, dude? It's funny. I shot some videos at home with my son today, and he comes in here and watches Jonathan, and he started giving me the five. I'm like, dude, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. He wants to be little Jonathan and come back here and be the producer. All right, so we were like, those of you that are actually watching this on Facebook Live, we do this on Facebook Live. Those of you who are not seeing it on Now Media. But we had a question, all right? Herc, one of the guys that's watched this for a few weeks, and you need to set that appointment with me, dude. We're going to talk about your company. I think it's a concrete company you have. And but he was asking, he asked us this is he wants to change the name of his business or change ownership into his wife's name. From a legal perspective, Colleen, what's the pros and cons of that?
So, right, well, it depends on what's your end goal here, right? Because if you're just trying to sidestep getting sued, well, that's not quite going to work.
Right.
Fraudulent transfer rules do and will apply, and you don't get to go away with that. But also something that it depends on the type of entity, right? So if it's an LLC and there's membership interest, chances are it's already community property anyway, and you don't even realize it, or your spouse hasn't just signed away their rights to have part of that company. So she might already own 50%. You don't even know it. Big surprise for some folks when they go and get divorced and they realize they've got to split their business too. Oops, surprise. Or when they go to sell it and they didn't want to, tell their spouse they're selling it, and
yes.
they need her signature, him or her signature, their spouse's signatures too. So what are the steps, right? I mean, at a base level, you've got an assignment that's occurring. But really you want to do the belt and suspenders. You want to go ahead and get the sale. If there is a sale, is there a gift? What are the tax implications of that? At that point, they are related parties.
Well, what's the benefit of, I know I've done some stuff. I've coached some businesses on doing government contracting. There are benefits to having a woman-owned business.
Yeah, and minority-owned business, right? If you have a spouse who's also a minority, right? You got to give them a real job, though. You can't just put their name on paper and let them, be the president, be the vice president, be the.
It's like you need to be like vice president in charge of entertainment and liquor. It's you can be my bartender and cigar lady.
And just because they're getting a W-2 through the company does not mean they have a real job. They actually have to have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you go through the application process, they're going to ask questions. The comptroller, the city of Houston, I mean, they'll dig right into it. I'm not saying you can't get away with it, but it's pretty hard these days to get away with that. They can really see right through it.
Yeah, we've seen some businesses that have gotten audited, and they come in and wanted to see what the president of the company did and ask questions about how the business ran, and they had no idea. And, lost $1 million contracts, and stuff like that. So if you're going to go do that, there has to be a legitimate reason, and that person has to have a legitimate job. Correct?
So, right, that's where the end goal comes into play, is if you're going after those government contracts and you need that minority or women-owned business designation, that's great, but they got to be on board 110%.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about some other, what are some red flags? So I'm going to sell my business, all right? I'm going to sell my business. What are some red flags that you're looking at as a broker that people need to fix? We talked about this before. We just can't put lipstick on the pig. What are the red flags we need to look at and fix?
So one of the first things that we do before we even think about, contracting with one of our clients is we go on the Secretary of State and we search for the entity. Is it legal, in existence? who are the owners, these types of things, because those
Are they in good standing?
Are they in good
active?
standing?
Yeah.
These are some really big issues. And then some of the biggest issues that we've come across in 2020 is the PPP loan and the EIDL loan.
Yeah.
People didn't really understand what they were getting into with this. And the PPP, I understand, but the EIDL loan, we had some people that thought, oh, well, that they get to keep that when the business sells. And so there's been a lot of emotional consulting going on this last year with some of our clients. Those are some really big red flags. Loans, and not all the time we can find out about that.
Oh, it's funny.
Or liens against some companies.
I had to sue a client a couple of years ago that owed me like several $1,000s. We could not. My lawyer could not find out who owned the company.
Wow.
We could not find out who owned it, and so we actually went to. I won't mention the company because people in here in Houston will know who they are. We actually went to had the process server go serve them, and they didn't. They wouldn't serve the guy.
Wow.
They wouldn't serve him. They said he's never at his place of business. I'm going, dude, he's at his place of business 24/7.
Sounds like the process server knew something you didn't.
It was a restaurant, and they were very well tied to the community, and they did a lot of stuff. And they just weren't going to serve him. And my attorney just came back and said, look, this is a couple grand. Let's just write it off. And that's the way. That's what we did. We just wrote it off. We went there, and it's like,
That's some good legal advice right there.
yeah, it's going to be a lot cheaper if we go do that. So, Colleen, what are red flags that you're looking at? Because you're looking at M&A. You're looking at maybe sometimes a little bit bigger businesses than Andy's looking at. So I'm coming in. I want to merge two companies, or I want to buy company A. What am I going to be looking at? What are you as the attorney you're going to go look at?
I mean, number one, right, and you don't have to be an attorney to do this, is I Google it. I Google a company's name. I Google the company's director's name, the president, the officers. I Google all of it. You'd be amazed about the things that I have found before just by a simple Google search. And just to find that red. And I mean, sure, I'm talking as a lawyer, but if I can kill the deal sooner rather than later, I'm saving my clients money. If there's a red flag, I want to know about it sooner. I want to know it up front. And while I would say most people are good people, and if there is a red flag or there's a problem in the business, like a loan or there's liens or there's litigation, a lot of times people are, they go ahead and they disclose that up front. Right? I want to say most of the time I'm working with good eggs and not bad eggs. But my job is to protect my clients from the bad egg, because if they are a true bad egg, they're not going to tell you that they're a bad egg. Right? I mean, they're just not.
No.
So I'm certainly going to go into the county clerk, the district clerk's website. I'm going to go search for their entity name, any prior entity names, any related entity names, people they're associated with, and I'm just typing it all in and searching to see. I mean, if they've had a divorce, I want to know about it. Anything that's gone on in their life. Kind of sounds like I'm a private investigator but you can learn a lot about a person, a lot about their business, about what they've done in the past. I mean, I'll even say to a client, do you even know these people? Right? Have you worked with them in the past? Do you know someone who's worked with them in the past? Because if you're dealing with a complete stranger, well, you're taking on a potential blind business partner. And a lot of times where I see what we call business divorces and they've gone into business with somebody, it's because they don't know who their business partner is. And I'm not saying you should go into business with your college roommate or your high school buddy either, because that doesn't turn out well half the time either. But you should know how they do business, right? And if they're doing business in a way that doesn't really match up with how you want to do business, right?
Well,
then
we hear about the business divorce all the time, and I see it all the time. A lot of these Facebook pages. I think I recommended you on a Facebook page today, about selling your business and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll see these people. Oh, I'm going to start my company, and where do I go get my LLC done? And my thing is, okay, if you want to go do it yourself, that's fine. But you better get someone to help you write the operating agreement and how this business is going to be shared. Because I started a company. And I was doing all the work, and me and my lawyer were coming in. There was two guys that were helping me, and they thought it was a 33.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, wait a minute, guys. I'm working 85 hours a week. You guys have jobs, you're doing other things.
You get some free riders in
yeah,
there, don't you?
and when I finally came to them with the agreement, it was like an 80-10-10, but we had it written that they could gain, it was kind of like set up with a 401k. They could gain more shares of the company by helping us achieve certain goals.
Right.
Yeah.
And they said no way, and they walked away because they thought one of the guys walked away, and the other one said, "Oh, we're 50-50 partners now." No. No. Yeah, we will be, dude. I've spent $60,000. You want to write me a check for 30, and you want to quit your job that you're working on and start showing up at things at 6 in the morning like I do.
Right.
So this is how that that type of conversation will go over with me, right? Someone calls me up, they say, I want to go and form an LLC, a company, corporation, whatever entity, name your entity. And they say, oh, but I don't really want to spend the money. I want you to match what LegalZoom does. And nothing against LegalZoom and any of those other things, right? They're providing a mechanism for people to form their companies. You can even do it on the Texas Secretary of State. And I say, okay, if you want to go do that, go ahead and do that, but come back to me for the company agreement, the operating agreement, or the partnership agreement, because that's really where I'm adding value, right? That's really what you're paying for me to do. I don't really make so much money on the formation piece, but where I'm adding a ton of value to my clients is putting the company agreement in place, as you mentioned.
Right.
And sometimes they just go ahead and they don't want to talk to me about that at that point in time. Right. Maybe they hang up saying, oh, you're just trying to upsell me. And I'm like, the answer is no, because if you don't put that in place, the moment there's a dispute, what ends up happening is you got the Texas Business Organizations Code filling in those gaps for you. And I got bad news for you. It doesn't really fill in the gaps. And the legislature, the Texas legislature, wanted to be really business friendly here in Texas, and they are. But what they did is they, for better or for worse, left pretty large gaps into the code there. And one of those gaps is how to remove a member from an LLC. Right? And there's other mechanisms like bankruptcy, divorce, death of a member, what happens in those circumstances. Or even a push-pull buyout where you're trying to drag your other partners along so you can go ahead and sell the business. Those aren't provisions that the Texas Business Organizations Code truly provides for in the way that you think that you want them to be providing for.
When they're coming and there's multiple members that are selling a business, how important is that business? Is that an operating agreement for you as the broker?
Well, it's very important, and what we find a lot is maybe I experience a few more bad eggs than.
I've heard of the bad eggs.
So
one of the eggs she was talking to earlier.
No, they're good.
But
eggs.
it is very important because I need to know who's going to sign that resolution to sell. Who's going to sign the listing agreement with our office?
They have the authority.
Do
to
they
sell.
have the authority to sell it?
Or is some spouse going to come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh no, I own that"?
Exactly. And people that are going to start their own business, and the only reason I say this, I'm a serial opportunist. I'm not an entrepreneur.
Right.
But I've now 4 companies that we've started. One time I used LegalZoom. Was a horrible mistake. Nothing against LegalZoom. They're really not consulting to you on the level that you need.
Well, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's kind of what
did.
it's about.
Actually, the attorney that I when I started that one company, when I wrote the operating, she was LegalZoom, and I used their subscription, and I think I was on a call with her every 3 days. She showed me how to do it.
Maybe they lost money on you.
She did. She left the firm she was with and started her own firm eventually. And I used her for some other things. But she was, I think I came in at that where I was as a business, an entrepreneur down the road, I was asking better questions. We go back to originally what were the questions. I was asking better questions than most people when they come in.
It's not built for you.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone like you, LegalZoom is not built for someone like you who's asking all the questions. And LegalZoom, by the way, does come with an operating agreement or company agreement. I just want to say that's part of their package. And you should just go ahead and throw that in the trash.
Right.
Because...
Well, that's what my lawyer told me.
Because of the gaps when there is a dispute, and it's not an if, it's a when there's a dispute. Right? You want to be able to turn to that agreement and say, okay, these are what our obligations are. Otherwise, you're going straight to the courthouse. You're going straight into litigation, and what you thought you were going to save a couple $1,000s on the front end, suddenly you're spending about $10,000 to $50,000 on the back end cleaning up your mess.
Your mess. This weird. Every lawyer that's been on this show said the same thing. It sounds like,
It's true.
It's the old. There used to be. I can't remember which. It was a additive to gasoline. It used to say, "You're going to pay me now or pay me later." And when are you going to do it? You're going to pay me a little bit now to put this stuff in your engine so it doesn't break, or it's going to break later and it's going to cost you 5 times to fix it. And that's where it is setting up the company the right way initially, and don't try to shortcut it.
No.
Don't make mistakes. Don't worry about quit worrying about tax. Tax drives your entity. That's what I was always taught. Or your entity drives the tax.
It depends on the industry, right? You could be in a tax-driven industry.
Yeah.
I mean, real estate, wind, solar, right,
Mm-hmm.
are all tax-driven entities and industries. And in that instance, it's very, very important, right? Because you're not going to be profitable. It's not economical without the tax incentives.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, we're Jonathan. You ready to go to break again, or am we early? 1 minute. Oh my! He's going. Talk just a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, I don't mind elaborating a little more. I mean,
Sure,
I hate getting that phone call when someone says, okay, I have a business dispute, my business partner, and I say, okay, did you form an entity? And then they'll say yes. They maybe use LegalZoom. And then I say, okay, well, is there a company agreement in place? And sometimes they haven't even signed the LegalZoom agreement. But then I've got to kind of say, okay, well, how much are you really looking to spend at this point? Are we just going to go ahead and put the parties into the same conference room and get them in some form of mediation, right? So that we can get them, really the goal is to find a path forward. I'm very practical. I don't like sending my clients to litigation, but ultimately the parties have to find a path forward, whether they like it or not. And whether that path is litigation or not is just one of the options on the table, or they can come up to an agreement. In your instance, you probably brought them into the bring it back on you. You brought them into the table and you're saying, okay, it needs to be 80-10-10. We're going to, you went that route and you weren't successspent. And yeah, there is the risk of they just go ahead and they walk.
It was early in the business. I was forming it. It was my idea. I did everything. I spent all the money. I'm like, hey, dudes, you guys are really cool. It was one of those ideas where you got an idea and everybody wanted to jump on it and be a part of it. But they wanted what they saw was the long-term goal. They didn't want to play the front-end game with it, where it was all the hard shit. They didn't want to do all the hard stuff.
No blood, sweat, and tears on that part.
Right. Let's put it in. Oh, now you went from stretch to get off the air, dude. I see this. So, all right, this is my Grade Your Business Guide. We're gonna be back in a minute. We got Colleen and Andy. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Go enjoy these commercials.
Hi, this is Scarlett Horton. You may remember me from the morning news. We know that finding the right team for your painting project can be overwhelming, and if not done right, a painting project can easily go over your budget. At CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, our professionals will ensure your residential or commercial painting projects run smoothly and are convenient for your schedule, leaving you time for what matters most. CertaPro of Central Houston has been serving the Houston metro area for more than a decade and has a solid reputation. You can read reviews from our clients and see examples of our work on our social media pages, letters of recommendation, website, and Google reviews. Additionally, at CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, we warranty our work for 2 years. We offer free color consultation. We do residential and commercial jobs, interior and exterior, and we are licensed and insured. Not to mention, we are experts in painting cabinets. CertaPro is the largest painting contractor in the USA. Our crews are not only qualified and skilled painters, they are the best at what they do, and we are always on time. Let our experts at CertaPro of Central Houston transform your home and business. Our proven process gives you more time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Alfredo, Mallory, and John are experienced professionals who will work with you every step of the way to ensure a flawless finish. Call us today at 713-824-5166 and let CertaPro of Central Houston handle with ease, efficiency, and high professionalism your next residential and commercial painting project, because the world needs color.
Are you looking for a full-service company that can handle everything from a new roof installation, restoration, and maintenance with all the experience that comes from nearly 50 years of business? Joe Ochoa Roofing specializes in inspections, roof repairs, new roof installations, gutters, siding, windows, and even more. Damage on your roof can sometimes take up to 1 year or more to show up. Joe Ochoa Roofing gives you the peace of mind you need to ensure your home and family are well protected from weather elements. Joe Ochoa Roofing offers the best quality workmanship with an accredited business since 1996 by the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. We also have financing available with no interest and no payments for 12 months. So don't delay and call us to get a quote at 281-890-0000 or visit our website at www.ochoaroofing.com for more information.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hey, Michael Rager, your business guy. We're popping back up from a little sip there. Jonathan's back at the last minute saying, hey, we got a minute. And then he goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I won't say what I want to say, but, he's giving that little smirk across the... If you could just see him over here, plugging his little pink drink from earlier. All right, so we've been talking here in the break. Those of you that want more fun, you should listen to us on Facebook Live because you get to hear the crap we talk about in between segments. And that's when we cuss and we swear and we do all the things that we're not supposed to do on live TV. All right, so we talked about how do we bring this back around because we started about bird poop and, why? We started about why. And
are you sure you're not a squirrel?
I got the attention span of a gnat. So we're going to come back to why. Mm-hmm. So how do you guys, when you're looking at bringing a person that's going to sell their business, how often do you ask them why? How much did you drive into it or find out that?
That's one of the most important questions that I ask any business owner when we talk to them is, why do you want to do this? What goals is this going to help you achieve? And if they can't answer that, they're going to be a very difficult client. Mm-hmm. When we bring buyers to the table that are actually qualified and engaged in, to buy the business, and, the owner's like, well, I don't really want to sell it. And if I don't have that to bring,
not the myth.
I don't really feel like this is a great idea. But when I can document what their goals they wanted to achieve with the sale of the business, I can bring that back up in that conversation about the buyer coming up. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we, put everything back on track.
Okay. Right. So what about you? When you start asking the whys, what why questions as an attorney do you start asking both on the buy and sell side?
I make them take a step back with me, right? I even say, take a step back. Let's start from the beginning. Tell me how you got here, mm-hmm. right? How did you get here? Are you looking to spend more time with your grandkids? Are you just tired? Are you just looking to, take care of your employees and meld into a larger company? Are you, just looking to cash out and just sell to anybody who comes up with the right number? Are you looking for a strategic sell or buy, right? Mm-hmm. All of these things matter because I'm going to know how serious they are about buying or selling their business. And the same rate, right? You're trying to figure out if the person coming to you is going to be, when the offer comes in, are they going to take it, right? Are you going to earn your commission or whatever when the time comes? And that, same thing with realtors. They have to deal with that too. Oh. Is if I go show you 100 freaking houses, are you going to actually put in an offer on one of them? Right?
It's when I start with businesses, one of the first things I ask them is, what's the end game of this thing? And 98% of them have no freaking idea.
All right.
Why did you start this company? What do you want to do with it? Because they don't understand that if they're building it to sell, I tell all my business owners to build it to sell anyways, because as you know, 98% of them are not sold because they want to. Something drives them, forces them to have to sell.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then we got to get to the point that we got to put lipstick on a pig.
I'm really good at that, guys.
As we said, but we got to go fix the damn thing.
Right.
So if you build it right to become a sellable asset in the first place, you're able to go sell it easier, right?
And sometimes they come to me and they say, "Oh, I really want to sell." And then you dig in, you lift up what I call the hood of the
Right.
car, right? And you find out that it's a hot mess. And you're like, "Well, you're not ready to sell just yet. You need to go ahead and get positioned for anywhere from 18 to 24 months." Obviously, depends on the company, right?
Yeah.
Some of them you can make a couple tweaks and they're there. Other ones, you know, I've had some where I'm like, okay, this is going to take a year to fix even from the legal side. Or they've got open litigation matters, open liens that
I didn't
they're just
share
going
with
to take
you-
a little bit to,
I didn't
to
share with
fix.
you my business health check, did I?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
oh my God, you got to. It's we call it 6 cylinders. One of my mentors put it together because he was a big car guy, and so he said there's 6 cylinders in the business. There's strategy, sales and marketing, operations, finance, people, and systems and technology.
Where's legal?
It's in there in the operations.
That's the 12 cylinders.
It's in the operation. It's actually in the operation. So
That's that part you didn't know that you needed and
but-
cost a lot.
it's in there, and what the 6 cylinders are broken down, and there's 3 or 4 questions on each one asking, how well do you think you are on all of these?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have them, you can't get top dollar for it.
No.
Can you?
No.
Yeah. And that's what I say, oh, you can go get your company evaluation done now, even rough estimates from software that y'all can do in-house. But ultimately, when there's something wrong like litigation, liens, dispute with customers, contracts that aren't sticky, customers that aren't sticky, right? It's suddenly you ding your valuation. So
Right.
you can come up with, oh, your friend who has a competing business got X dollars for his business, and then I say, okay, well, did he position it? Did he have anything wrong with his business? Did you know of anything? And then they come to me and they say, okay, I want to get the same amount.
Right.
And I was like, well, let's go through it, right? Because you're starting with the top number, right? And
Yeah.
at that point, they have a number in their mind that they want. They want that or above because they think that they're better from their friend
Right,
who also
right.
has a business in that same space. And they're like, okay, I want this kind of premium, 3x premium, 5x premium, whatever, right? You know what I'm talking about. And it depends on the type of company, industry, whether they're going to get that premium. But I say, okay, right? We have that number, and then we're going to start subtracting things. We're just car dings. I call them car
Yeah,
dings.
yeah.
We're just dinging the valuation. And by the time you get to the bottom, if they haven't been paying attention to their car and doing all that maintenance, right? You got quite the junker on your hands.
Well, it just goes to where we are, Andy, on this. We're going to go on a fishing trip. If we don't know what we want to fish for, how we're going to fish for it, and what we're going to do, we can go out there and troll around that big damn ocean all day
Right.
and not see anything. And
You're going to get eaten by a shark.
luckily we'll make it eaten by a shark.
Hopefully.
But that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
It's because people come to you and say, my business is worth $2 million, and you laugh at them.
And
Well,
I
you
try
don't laugh in their face,
I
but
try
you-
not to laugh in their face, but really, what I try to do is help create a gap for them, right? Because I know already that they say, I want to sell my business for $5 million. If somebody comes to me and says, I want to sell my business for $5 million, I pretty much tell you I'm going to come back with a market price analysis of about $750,000. I mean, really. So I create a gap. And
Chances are, yeah.
24 months minimum usually is what I'm recommending. You need to do all of these things. You need to get an attorney. You need to get a bookkeeper. You need to be prepared.
You need a business coach.
You're right. You need a business coach to help you get there. And I mean, you need a business coach because so many people humans in general are horrible at planning.
Oh.
And that's why business owners and entrepreneurs never get to where they want to be because they fail at planning. And that's what business coaches help.
It's not just the planning, right? Because they're probably starting 2021. They're listening to this and they're saying, okay, I'm going to go get my contracts reviewed. I'm going to go ahead and do all my maintenance. And then 3 months into the year, just like someone who decided they were going to lose 50 pounds this year, they weren't accountable, right? So
Yeah.
the part of the business coach that I've seen is if you get one who's a good one and they can keep you accountable along